Hi, everybody. My name's Carrie. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you are all safe and healthy. This is kind of crazy times, isn't it? I know we're all getting a little stir crazy and wishing we could just be outside enjoying our normal lives. I know I feel that way. And I'm sure everybody else does as well. So I thought, let me just get on here and just kind of touch base, say hi, wish you all well, and give you an update on what I've been up to. Using this opportunity to do some creating. It's tough sometimes. Sometimes I just don't have the headspace. I just kind of get overwhelmed by everything and don't feel creative. So I have turned to my spinning a little bit more. I have been spinning quite a bit. Spinning is a slow process anyway. It's not something that you're going to make yarn just all of a sudden, but it's been very therapeutic for me. I find it very relaxing, and it's getting better. So I will talk about that in a little bit. This is a cowl I made using my hand spun. Is it the first? No, I did make that headband thing. So it's the second thing I've made with hand spun that I can wear. So this was fiber. It is 100% superwash merino dyed by Wound Up Fiber Arts. I will put the link in the description box to her website. And it doesn't have a color name because it was a one-off. But she's got colors that are similar to this. Was really nice to spin. It's extremely soft. I made the Aq. I'm not sure what the name of the pattern is, but this is it right here. I have made this before, and I have another cowl that I've made this with a gradient yarn. A very nice fingering weight cowl by Hilary Smith Callis. You can find it on Ravelry. It's like a $5 pattern, I think. And I may have, I don't remember now if I used the same needle, size 3. I may have gone up a needle size because this was mostly fingering. Some thicker spots, some spots that are more like sport maybe. Because of when it twisted and then I washed it, everything kind of bloomed and fluffed out. So I was maybe a little more leaning towards sport for the majority of it. So I went up a needle size and just like, it's a cowl that'll fit and it'll be great. And so I made it as per pattern. I didn't make it any longer or anything like that. And I love it. It's like a off-center, let's go here. Kind of an off-center kerchief style. You knit it flat and seam it up the back, which was kind of cool with the way that this was striping. Where's my seam? There it is. So this was striping in the beginning. It could have been just the way it was spun, or it could have been because there were fewer stitches in the beginning. And then it still continued to stripe, but it got a little more blendy there for a little bit until it started decreasing again. But I think it adds nice interest to the cowl. So today is a bit rainy, so it's a perfect day to wear a cowl because we've had some really beautiful weather, thank goodness. We're below normal for our rainfall because we've had such a dry April, but it has been really, really nice. I've been able to sit outside. We've been able to take nice long walks, and today's drippy and rainy, and I'm kind of waiting for a break to take Violet out for a walk. So she's being really patient. She's sitting on her little spot by the window. So yeah, hand spun's pretty fun, I have to say. After I did this, I spun up this, which is it was dyed by Nanette Wakes Studio. This is non-superwash merino in the colorway Blueberries. It ended up with 114 grams, about 500 yards. And the way I measured that is after I plied it and it's on the bobbin, and then I take it to my umbrella swift, open it all the way. That's 2 yards when it's open all the way. And then I just count how many rotations it is. Now I know that there's more tension on that when you're pulling it off of the bobbin. Your yarn's pulled with some tension. And it came up to like maybe 510 500-ish, 12-ish yards. So I'm rounding down to 500 just so that I know that's what I've got. Mostly fingering weight, pretty even. There are a few spots still that I got some like thicker fluff, which I now know I can just like stop and undo that and kind of pull it out, and I'm doing better at not just going, oh well, that'll work out in the wash, because it doesn't always. But this is a beautiful purpley blue color, just slightly variegated or tonal, and nice and soft. It's not super washed, so I'm not going to use it for any kind of socks. So I'm thinking a cowl again. I think that a texture might show up because it is more solid. So I'm not really sure what I'm going to do, but real happy with the way that turned out. And at this point I'm spinning because I'm enjoying it. It is making yarn. I may or may not use the yarn, but I'm enjoying the process. And I figure if it's something that I feel like I am never going to use, then I'll give it away as a gift. But for now, I'm enjoying the spinning part. So once I got done with that purple, I started this braid. This is also dyed by Nanette, called Painted Cotton. And I don't know why, I've talked about this before. I don't do neutral. This does have some pink in it, so that's a plus. I was just really drawn to this soft color. And I don't know what I'll do with it, but that didn't matter. I'm also trying different wools, different types of wool. So this is Targhee. I know Amy Beth on Fat Squirrel Speaks, she said Targhee. I have to look that up and see how you pronounce it. Never spun it before. It's been really lovely to spin. It's definitely got spring to the fiber. Like the fiber has a lot of springiness to it. There's more kink in it. But it's been really nice to spin, and I'm getting a really nice even spin with it. I really enjoy these soft pastel colors. She put another color in her shop that was Targhee, whatever, with a brighter pink or a deeper pink. And I almost thought of getting that and then applying the two together. I'd end up with like 2 skeins, basically 2 skeins worth. But I think it could be really pretty. But then this could be really pretty by itself too. So I'm not really sure. This is about half. I just dug into the braid and started spinning it. And I thought, oh, that's right. You should weigh out half so that your bobbins end up even. But I'll figure it out. I actually, for a month there, like mid-March-ish to mid-April, Blueprint, which used to be Craftsy, had all classes were free. And so I watched a spinning class and I watched a plying class, and I did pick up some information from that. So that was really nice that I took advantage of the free classes. So that was helpful. I think I'm improving, definitely improving. This is going to be a more even spin. I'm getting it pretty thin, so it'll probably be a light fingering. But I'm kind of playing with the idea of playing 2 different colors together. I mean, why not, right? So that's what I'm currently working on. I've got it. This is the other half of it, so I got to get through that. And then meanwhile, other dyers are dyeing fiber, and it's good to support the small business. We're all trying to do our part. I don't need yarn. I don't really actually need fiber, but that's where my interest is right now. So I ordered some more from Wound Up Fiber Arts and just got it. This one is called Call Me Crazy. This is a 90-15 superwash merino nylon blend. So I haven't done anything with nylon. And it's just like beautifully bright colors. I think this would, when it's all done, will make a really cute, fun pair of socks or sock yarn. So you got all those beautiful colors. And then another one that I got from her, very kind of similar in colors, but not. And this one is called Same Here. It's the same blend of colors. I see fluff. Same blend of fibers. It's superwash merino nylon, but it's got more of a kind of a tealy green in it with the other pops of color. A little bit less. It doesn't have the limey green, and a little bit less of the purple in it. So those are going to be sock yarns. for me or for gift. I'm not really sure. It doesn't really matter at this point. If I'm enjoying the process of it, that's what most of my creativeness is about. It's not about always the end product, although I do really like the end product. I also really love the process of it. So, so that's been fun. That's been my my community service, my support of the small business is to buy fleece. So I keep looking too, and I'm like, oh, there's so-and-so that has a subscription. You just get this random colorway or fiber content. You know, you just don't know what you're going to get. And I'm like, should I do that? What if I get a color I don't like or a fiber I don't like? And so I haven't done that yet. I've got plenty to spin because I still have some from Blue Moon Fiber Arts that I got last year in anticipation of getting my wheel. And I'm holding off on that because that one's, there's a blue-green one that's got silk in it, and it's like, it's 8 ounces, so it's basically double what you would normally get. Like, it's double what these are. And I think, I kind of feel like I want to know what I'm going to make with that so I know how to spin it, if that makes sense. Do I spin it as a worsted weight? Do I spin it fingering? I'm not really sure. So I do have those couple of bumps or whatever you call them that are waiting to be spun, but I'll do it. It'll get there. Another thing that I've been doing more recently, you know, we have our days. We have our days where we're like, hey, this is good. I'm going to be productive today. And then there's days where we're like, I'm not even going to take a shower. So I think we all have those days. We're all experiencing that. And it was on one of those days where I was like kind of feeling sad. I really missed seeing Robert and Michael and having them come over or going over there. And, you know, and my parents, you know, I've stayed away from them, brought my mom some toilet paper and hung out on the outside on the patio. She's like, I sterilized the table. We can sit on opposite ends of the table. Just needing some company. So I did stay and visit with her for a little bit. But, you know, that's hard to not see those people that we really care about and that we want to stay physically connected to. That's challenging. So it was one of those days where I was like, poor me. I can't see my son. And I got a message of just checking in with you from the guys at Fiber Hustle. And it really made me feel good. It was out of the blue and it just was coming at the right time. It really, really touched me. And so from that, it inspired me to try and do something to reach out to other people, to just be like, hey, just thinking of you. You know, I know we're all in this together, but we all feel very apart and very separated. And so I decided to just try and make a card and send a card in the mail because, like, who doesn't like to get nice mail, right? So I went into it like it's not going to be perfect. I'm not that kind of an artist. It's just going to be something that I'm going to put time into it, but I'm not going to obsess over whether it's good enough or perfect enough. It's more about the fact that I thought of you. I made this for you, and you know, hope it at least makes somebody smile. So I sent out a bunch of them. I don't know when they'll get them, but I took out my watercolors and my watercolor paper, and I used my scoring board. So I have this. This happens to be a Martha Stewart one. I got it at Walmart, I think. May have gotten it on Amazon, I'm not sure. And it's basically got all these grooves in it. And you use the little bone folder, and when you put your paper on and score it down one of the grooves, it makes it so that you can fold it really easily. It also has a way to make envelopes. So I didn't have to go to the store. I have watercolor paper, I have watercolor, I've got paper I can make envelopes with, and I thought that's what I'll do. And I spent a good couple of days just working on that, and it was so therapeutic for me because it felt good for me to think that I might make somebody smile. You know, just the fact that it gave me a way to reach out. That's not just a, you know, that felt heartfelt, I guess. It's not, didn't want somebody to feel like it was obligatory, if that makes sense. Probably not, but anyway. So I just approached it like super simple. And here's one of them I haven't sent yet, but it's one that I made. So I'm just taking watercolor, putting watercolor on paper, taking my Micron pen. So these Micron pens are really good. They don't bleed, and you can paint over them, and the water doesn't affect them. So I used my pens, just kind of did some doodly sort of flowers, made a card, took some computer paper and folded it, made an envelope, and sent out some cards. So I'm planning on doing more. I need to get inspired and like to try, because I want every card to be different. I could make 500 of them all the same. I suppose I could do that, but I want to make them all a little bit different, and it gives me a chance to sort of play with some different just different techniques and just expand my very little knowledge. I got fluff everywhere. Very little knowledge on watercolor painting. Thankfully, there are lots of tutorials and instructions on YouTube. So I've been going to YouTube and just type in watercolor for beginners, or watercolor flowers, or watercolor cards, or whatever, and just trying to get some information as inspiration as well, because I have a hard time just coming up with what to make, what to draw, what to paint, but I can copy people. I can copy other ideas and designs and then go from there. So that's kind of what I've been doing. So, they don't always turn out. There's some that I've thrown away that's like, okay, that was a nice try, but you know what? It's about the process. So I hope that when people get those, they at least know that I did it with, love in my heart, and I was sincerely thinking of them and hoping to make them smile a little bit. So that was a project that is going to continue, but it's time consuming. It takes a while to put all those pieces together. Paint, you got to let it dry. You got to figure out what you're drawing. Got to figure out what you're going to say on the inside so you don't sound like a complete idiot. So anyway, that's been fun. That really helped lift my spirits in knowing that I was making something for somebody else. It just sort of helped me. I've done a ton of masks. So, that's been a sewing project that I've worked on. I don't know how many I've made. I was feeling pressure put on myself, because you see all these posts like I made 1,000 masks, and it's almost became like, in my eyes, like a competition of who could make more. And I thought, I can't do that. I made a bunch. I've donated them. I took a bunch to work the other day because I am still working. I have to go to work one day a week. I work a double shift to be at work at 6 o'clock in the morning. That's the hardest part. I don't mind the job so much. It's that I don't like being there that early in the morning. I have to get up way earlier than I want to, because then I also have the anticipation of knowing I got to get up that early the next day, so I can't fall asleep the night before. So I'm really pooped out on those days that I have to work, but I'm thankful I have a job still. Jim is still working, so he still has a job. So we're very fortunate that we aren't worrying about how we're going to make a house payment or pay our bills. So I feel lucky about that. Anyway, brought masks to work so that we can wear them when we're handing out our breakfast and lunch, because we're still making breakfast and lunch for people. We're doing it as like a drive-through sack lunch breakfast type of thing. And so trying to be careful doing that and still provide stuff for families. So that's been, that's one day a week. That's going to continue through what would normally be our school year. I don't know what's going to happen over the summer. There was talk that we'd still have to do it over the summer, which I'm not sure why, because we wouldn't normally do that. And I don't know what's going to happen come September. I don't think anybody really knows at this point. We're still waiting to see whether we can still go camping later in the summer. Fingers crossed. That was really hard to hear that they were going to close campgrounds. Like, don't take my camping away. So I know it's temporary. I'm just fingers crossed that we can still do some camping this summer. Knitting wise, I'm working on my sock arm sweater. So I showed this pattern. Let me find it. Do I have it? Yeah. So this is Sock Arms by Stephanie Lotman. Fingering weight, you use self-striping yarn for the sleeves. So I had started it, and I had picked my colors. I was doing a dark purple, a kind of magenta and a light pink. And I was doing, I was like pinstriping it, one stripe of each, one stripe of the dark purple and the dark pink. And then I was going to fade in the light pink and then just do solid light pink on the top. Because I don't know, it's bottom up. When you split for the seams, now you're just you're knitting just the front yoke part, the back, add the sleeves. Wasn't sure how I was going to continue the stripes. Got, you know, I don't know, 8 inches into it and realized that I had 50 extra stitches. 50. I had been knitting 50 extra stitches for that far. There's no way you can adjust that. A couple stitches you can kind of fudge. 50, not so much. So what happened was when I was casting on, because you have to cast on the whole ribbing, you're not just starting at the neck, I would put a marker every 50 stitches and then I'd count, 50, 100, 150, 200. And somehow I missed a section of 50 and ended up with 50 too many. So I had to rip the whole thing out. Start all over. And I thought, well, look at this as a plus. I wasn't sure how I was going to do things when I got up here. And so now I'm going to do it completely different. I started on the bottom with the dark purple and I didn't pinstripe it, just did the dark purple. I don't know what color it is. I do know that it's a Blue Moon Fiber Arts Socks That Rock light, probably, because it's not super thick. And then I'm going to do it more as like a block stripe. So I did the dark purple, just kind of striped in the light pink. Did this light pink is from Black Sheep Yarn Co. It's called Lovely Lilac. And now I'm adding in this magenta pinky purple color and just reversing those stripes pretty much, because it's getting close to where I'm going to start splitting off for the sleeves. And so I want this top part to be solid, so I'm not having to worry about working 2 colors. And what that'll do to the edge when you're picking up stitches to do the sleeves. So I'm getting there. I did do some shaping. I decided to do some, it just was a little bit, so it does kind of go in a little, give me a little bit of shape. I don't have a lot of shape. I'm sort of all just one shape. But anyway, this is going to be a really pretty sweater, I think. Especially when I started adding that dark purple in there, or pinky purple. I haven't swatched for the sleeves yet, but this Felici is what I'm planning on using because I think that the colors are going to go the best with this jewel tone. Don't remember what this is called. It's an older color because I bought a bunch of Felici a few years ago when they'll have them on sale, and I bought a bunch on sale and then kind of started making sweaters, which I never thought I'd make, and so kind of stopped making socks, and then the Felici's just sort of sitting there, and so it's an older color. That was a long way to say that. So I don't really have anything else because, like I said, the stuff I've been doing is pretty time consuming, so there's not a lot to show for it. I am working on a quilt that I'm almost kind of close to being done with. I got a couple more blocks to do, and then the sashings and all that stuff. I will show that when I'm done with it because it is a gift. And continuing to spin and maybe make some cards. So I really hope that you are staying sane and finding ways to cope with this. I mean, who knows how to cope with this, right? We just do the best we can. Please consider staying home as much as you can. I know people are protesting against that, which I think is just going to make this last even longer, but that's my feeling. I'm doing what I can do. I can't control what other people do. But I do hope that you are staying safe, and if you do know somebody with it, that they are getting better and get better soon. I'll check on you guys later. All right. Be safe. Be healthy.